So welcome back to this tactical intellectual channel. We have another foundational presentation on what? Human biology, part of their series here. Now, disclaimer, do not be offended. This content is information based. So what is the presentation on? Well, skin pigmentation right there. And again, it's part of the human biology series. Without further ado, we're gonna jump right into a YouTube video.
But why do you use a phrase like black is beautiful?
Because black is commonly associated with negatives. The black market, the black sheep of the family, anything which is supposed to be bad.
Then why do you use the word? Why call yourselves black? I mean, you people are more brown than black.
Why do you call yourselves white? You people are more pink than white.
Precisely.
So this is the good old cry freedom clip right here, and this is more just to make you think, to get in that mindset. Did you notice what that judge, the inquiry from the judge is? You know, why do you people call yourself black? You're more brown than black. And then Denzel's character Biko, he replied back, hey, why do you guys call yourselves white when you're more pink, huh? I mean, it makes sense, right? Just have that in mind right here, because we're gonna check out this other clip, and it kind of expounds on the same subject right now. This is more the entertainment part of it before we get into the real nitty-gritty scientific explanations, but let's proceed to the next clip.
Hi guys, I wanted to make this special video about black and white people, that there's actually no white person that's actually white, or black person that's actually black. Okay, white people are people that look like sort of very light skinned, but they're not really white. They're like pink or orange. And black people are not really black, but they're really dark brown or light brown. They sort of look like very tan Korean people. All right, to me, they just look Korean. Anyway, to illustrate this point of how your brain thinks, I wanna really change the world, change how you think, and I just want to make this special video. So I'm gonna go ahead and type white people on Google, and I'm gonna go ahead and find the most whitest person. All right, here. All right, this is white. This background, does that look white? That's pink. Does that look white? That looks slightly orange to me. And I'm going to show you none of these people are actually white person. And let me go ahead and copy this. This is a very good example of white people. And I'm going to go ahead and open up my Photoshop and go ahead and copy this image. And I'm going to actually grab the colors off their faces here. All right, let's go find the whitest person, and I'm gonna go ahead and grab my tool here. Where is it? Eyedropper tool. This will pick up the color. So I'm gonna find the whitest part of this woman's face, and you can see it picks up this color. And I'm gonna go ahead and I got this little house here. For example, if you wanted to paint your house white, you want it white. But if you colored it according to this person's color, and I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. Does that look like a white house? That looks sort of beige or something like that. Let's go ahead and grab another image here. Let's go ahead and kind of grab this girl here. She's sort of tanned. Grab this part of it. And I'm going to go ahead and go back to my house and color this color according to that color. What color is that? That looks sort of, I don't know, pinkish, yellowish. No, that's definitely not white. In fact, none of these people are actually white people.
Alright, so the link to this video will be in the description, so if you want to check out the full video, just click on it and view it. But the main point that I wanted to highlight is that just like in the Cry Freedom film clip right there, these people are more pink than they are white. You know, so white is totally different color than what they are. So that you have to wonder, how did we get that term? How do we adopt that term? What does it really mean? This clip would be used in future videos. This is more of a boomerang thing right here. I'm throwing it out here and it's gonna come back and cover multiple topics, subjects, and everything. Now let's see what he does for the quote unquote black people and what color they really are.
Let me go ahead and now go look for some black people. Very dark black. Well, just go black people, all right? So, to me, black people are not black. Let's go ahead and look at Michael Jordan here. Let me copy that in here. And go ahead and copy the blackest part here. I mean, that's the shadow. So let me go ahead and find the blackest part where there's actually light. Something like here. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and fill it in. All right, that's still not black. If you told me to paint my house in black in the color of Michael Jordan's cheek, you would still get very dark brown. You see the point here? No one's actually black. There's actually no way humanly possible that you can actually be black. Mostly, this is dark brown. This is light brown. Dark brown. This guy here is not, you know... This guy's probably like, according to the words, this guy could even be white. Let me see. So, I don't know. As an Asian person, it's always, you know, ever since I was immigrated here, since I was 9, this has really bothered me. So let me go ahead and copy this color of his forehead. And you guys tell me this is black. Or is it white? Actually, this looks almost pinkish, you know, beige. All right. Let's go ahead and go look for very dark black people. All right. Something with actually natural light. I'm not talking about something in black and white or whatever. Then it's gonna screw it up. Okay, let's look at this child's image. And I'm gonna go ahead and copy this into here. I'm going to copy the darkest image of her, well, that's actually kind of too dark because the lighting here. I'm just going to go ahead and pick the average here, maybe middle forehead, all right? And I'm going to go ahead and do this. It's sort of a dark gray. All right, the point I'm trying to make is that historically the color association has been wrong.
Okay, so now we have a better understanding or firmer grasp on the fact that there's not actually any black people or white people in the truest sense right there. So we know that people are mostly either pinkish, orange or whatever, to light brown to, I guess, a dark brown, almost grayish color. You know, as the examples brought out from Michael Jordan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and then the girl from the continent right there that was kind of grayish. So what is the cause of this pigment right here, this hue in our skin color right there, or skin right there? So let's find out. We're gonna delve deeper into the scientific aspect of it all. So let's move on to that part right there. Also, a disclaimer, nobody should be offended right here. We're just speaking of a topic that presents facts and evidence, man. So if you get offended by this, then turn it off, calm yourself down, and either return or don't return to the video presentation here. But it's all about facts and evidence, man. Nobody should be offended. So now we're gonna turn our attention to this 3-minute 30-second video on how do we get our skin color. So let's check this thing out and have a deeper understanding, or better comprehension of this subject right here.
Skin covers all our bodies, but its color varies from person to person. To understand why, we need to peer inside its layers. Skin cells and their allies, hair, sweat, and oil glands, form a first line of defense from the environment. Skin's three main layers are each a distinct community of cells with different jobs. To see what gives skin its color, we need to focus on the outermost layer, the epidermis, and two important cell types, keratinocytes and melanocytes. The keratinocytes are the cells that form the surface of the skin and are on the front line for taking insults from the environment. Deeper down in the epidermis, right at the base of the layer, we find the melanocytes. These star-shaped cells produce the important pigment melanin. Let's zoom inside a melanocyte to see how this works. Melanin is produced inside what look like spheres throughout the melanocyte. These are the melanosomes. Chemical reactions inside melanosomes turn the amino acid tyrosine into melanin. The proportion of two main forms of melanin produced, a reddish-yellow type versus a black-brown type, the total amount of melanin in each melanosome, and the number of melanosomes in the epidermis all vary from person to person and determine their skin color. Melanosomes are the melanin factories inside melanocytes. But for melanin to do its job, melanosomes need to be transported to the keratinocytes via the melanocytes' long projections. Inside the keratinocytes, some melanosomes form a cap around the cell nucleus. The melanin inside the melanosomes absorbs the ultraviolet energy from sunlight, reducing the amount of ultraviolet radiation that reaches the nucleus, and in particular, the DNA inside the nucleus. Ultraviolet radiation can cause mutations in DNA that can lead to cancer. When ultraviolet radiation increases, melanin production increases, and more melanosomes are delivered to keratinocytes. Most people can adjust to greater exposure to the sun by turning up melanin production and tanning. But their genetic inheritance determines both the baseline color of their skin and how much it can tan.
So now the key takeaway of showing this is we're going to highlight the melanocytes and the melanosomes right there. That's very important right there. It's crucial. Now, I can safely say that you're supposed to produce melanin, and it does more than just act as a general pigment or protection from the sun right there. Is way deeper than that, man. You're supposed to convert energy from one form to another, and it's like photogenesis, man. That green plant just don't have the green hue just to protect itself. It acts in a greater capacity than that. So really, you have the melanosomes, melanocytes, and the keratinocytes right there. So in essence, when that UV radiation or that UV protection don't do its job and absorb and convert, and it changes your DNA and break things down, that's that mutation right there. So can't really shoot the messenger, can you? So we're gonna look at another video. In the upcoming video, we'll be dealing with skin pigmentation, the pale and then the eumelated type. Now, this geneticist that you will see shortly is Cheng of Penn State University. So let's see what he has to say about skin pigmentation when it comes into the eumelanated forms, the darker forms, and then the lighter or pale form.
Human skin comes in a whole spectrum of colors. Strangely enough, scientists have only just been able to find the genes that define the skin color differences between races. What is the biological basis of human skin color? An international team of scientists has recently found a key to that puzzle. At the piano is Dr. Cheng, a genetics researcher. His work recently made the cover of the journal Science in a subject he did not expect: the color of human skin. Cheng was surprised because he specializes in the genetics of cancer, working only with the minnow-like zebrafish, or danio. It is easily raised in the lab and reproduces quickly, with an embryonic development that is easy to study. These three characteristics make it an ideal test animal prized by researchers. Dr. Cheng focuses on genetic mutations that cause cancer. He tests the effects of certain genes on different varieties of fish. One of these is the golden variety. The skin and stripes of golden zebrafish are paler than those of the normal wild variety. Their hue is a result of less pigmentation in the skin. It seemed like a detail, but Dr. Cheng was intrigued.
So right here you have the golden zebrafish, then you have the wild variety. One thing you notice is the pale skin of the golden zebrafish in comparison to the, darker skin of the wild zebrafish right there. That's in direct parallel to humans right here. You know, you have humans with paler skin and humans with darker skin. So, pheomelanated or less eumelanin, and then you have ones with more eumelanin right there. So let's proceed forward.
To do my proper job as a biologist, I needed to know what the basis for the decreased pigmentation was. Now, our pigmentation is contained not just in floating around at random, it's in packets, cellular packets of pigment called melanosomes.
At first glance, under the microscope, there was no difference between the packets of pigments in the golden variety and those in the normal variety.
And then we submitted part of that for electron microscopy, which has much higher resolution, and there's where we saw a difference in the number, size, and density of those melanosomes in those melanophore, the pigmented cells.
Dr. Cheng was struck by the fact that these same three differences applied to light versus dark-skinned humans. Our skin also varies in the size, number, and intensity of pigments. The team then isolated the gene responsible for skin pigmentation in the zebrafish and showed that a mutation caused the golden variety's pale skin.
So this must be the one between, this is average.
Out of curiosity, the researchers examined the databases listing all the human genes.
You don't see a flat line right around it.
Surprise! They found a very similar gene, SLC24A5. But how could they find out whether the gene had the same function in humans as in zebrafish? They tried an experiment, injecting the human gene into the golden zebrafish. Jason Mest did the procedure, and it worked. When injected with the human gene, the embryo of the golden variety developed darker markings. Add a human gene and a zebrafish can change its stripes.
That was really interesting right there. So when it comes to the SLC24A5 gene right there, which correlates with lighter skin, mind you, that when it comes to the number, the size, and density of the melanosomes, it affects things. That's the mutation right there, and you see it with your own eyes when it comes to the wild variety of the zebrafish, and then the lighter one, what they call it, a golden zebrafish. So yeah, it's definitely a difference right there. So And like I mentioned earlier, it kind of mirrors how humans are in respects to skin color.
It was progress, but not the breakthrough they were looking for. Now Dr. Cheng had to show that humans had a mutation comparable to that of the golden zebrafish that would explain lighter skin in people. Research work, like music, requires keen intuition and subtle interpretation combined with a great capacity for analysis. The geneticist called in fellow researcher Victor Canfield and an anthropologist, Mark Shriver. They set out to find a mutation, but not just anyone. It had to affect nearly everyone with light skin or the population with European ancestry. The mutation also had to be almost totally absent from other populations. In the HapMap catalogs, these circles represent the frequency of the gene's various mutations in 4 populations: European, Chinese, Japanese, and Nigerian. The researchers' job consisted in finding a group made up of a circle of one color and 3 circles of another. One day, they hit upon just such a combination: 1 blue circle for the European population and 3 red ones for the other populations.
It was a very striking finding, and it wasn't quite the aha moment it could have been until Mark Shriver, who's done more of this work, realized that the frequencies are not only unusual but extremely unusual. That this is very few genes show that pattern. In this case, that we have almost 100% of one variant in one population and almost 0% of the same variant in other populations.
The mutation identified in the circles consisted in a unique change: A for the European population, which becomes G in all the other populations. The letters A, C, T, and G represent the building blocks of DNA. One tiny change among the hundreds of thousands of possible combinations in the human genome. The researchers then showed that the gene played a central role in the evolution of European skin color. It was like winning the lottery.
So here's the scenario right here. The doctor, his task was to explain the mutation that resulted in having lighter skin in people. So really, when they were speaking of this quote unquote Euro ancestry, this topic or discussion is more layered, and there's a ton of gray area there because Euro ancestry, or the traits that are attributed to Euro ancestry, doesn't really fully match up with the indigenous early European people prior to the Central Asian and Turkish and Russian steppe migrations right there. And I can say this because there's a ton of skeletal remains that are Negro or African type. It shares an affinity with bones found in Africa. Genetically, skull shape and all the other stuff right there. It's the same. So, that's why I make that claim right there.
So there are 3 billion bases in our genome. One letter of that, which changes 1 amino acid in this protein, seems to be responsible for the evolution of lighter skin color in Europeans.
But the gene doesn't explain the difference in skin color between blacks and Asians. Other, as yet undiscovered genes are likely involved. Still, it is the most important skin color gene yet discovered. We have the zebrafish to thank, not to mention Mr. Ba, for the inspiration. The discovery casts new light on an old theory.
It actually provides very great support for other people's work that have tried to explain why people have lighter skin in Europe, which is that in order to not get rickets, because we need vitamin D from the sun. We have to be exposed to that in our skin. You need lighter skin in order to make enough vitamin D to not get rickets to live further north.
According to the theory, some 200,000 years ago, the first modern humans, black Africans, started migrating outside Africa. Anyone carrying the mutation for light skin was better protected against rickets. This is allegedly how the mutation spread throughout northern regions. Dr. Cheng's research does not prove this theory, but by showing that the original skin color of humans was black and that whiteness is a recent mutation in evolutionary terms, it doesn't contradict it. It's also a way of saying that whatever our skin color, our ancestors were black. As a doctor, Cheng saw applications for the discovery in the fight against skin cancer and other diseases.
This is a very important cancer susceptibility gene because lighter skinned people get a lot of skin cancer. It also causes susceptibility to acquired form of blindness, age-related macular degeneration. And perhaps this gene could be a target for treating melanoma, which is a very deadly cancer.
As a geneticist, Cheng felt profound joy at solving a mystery of human biology, skin color. But as a man who faced discrimination because of his skin color, he saw it as a warning and a chance to contemplate what it means to talk about race.
For one thing, we need to establish anytime the term race is brought up, are you doing this work to compare, to make value judgments, to put people down? Well, we're not interested in those discussions as scientists, hopefully. But on the other hand, if it's to understand differences, to understand biology, to celebrate difference, for example, then it's fine to talk about it. And we need to recognize, secondly, that it's a very complex term. So it includes things that are genetic, such as pigment, shapes of the body, but it also includes factors that are not genetic: language, customs, nationality, religion. None of those are genetic. Those are sociological. But I think it's time that we join and help clarify the use of this term and to make our discussion more sophisticated.
So I thoroughly enjoyed that video. It was very informative, I think. Now it's good that in regards to those genes that are different between you melanated Negro people and paler Asians and paler, Europeans, Australians, people in the Americas, basically the ones that have that mutation right there. When it comes to the Negro or you melanated population of the world, it is really a good thing that it's still a yet to be determined mystery when it comes to why we don't have that genetic mutation right there. So I thought that was interesting right there, profound too. And I like the use of the word allegedly when they came up with the theories right there, and allegedly, that is the key word right there. So I'm glad that they acknowledged that pale skin is a recent trait when it comes to human history right there, seeing that the original humans were darker skinned people. They were melanin infused so especially on the outside. And one thing that's interesting here is you have the Eskimos and then you have the modern Nordic or Scandinavian people. They really live in a similar climate, have maybe a similar diet, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Eskimos, they avoided that mutation right there because they still have, or they had darker skin. So when it comes to that gene right there, we know that gene that causes lighter skin or paler skin, is cancer susceptible or vulnerable. And really, the people that have that gene, they're open to macular degeneration, which is blurred vision, if not outright vision loss as they age. So towards the end of this video here, he was saying, I guess he was talking about the motivations of people doing this type of work right here. He was like, hey man, if you're just trying to, pit one group against the other group. I'm not with it. But if you're just trying to understand or comprehend differences between people and have a more sophisticated discussion, then hey, I'm all for it. And when it comes to that, I'm doing this work because I really want to set the record straight, because as you know, it's a lot of work, lies and misinformation that you have to shovel through and scrape away to set the record straight. And hey, I'm game for it. I'm ready for it. So it's a good exercise personally in my life. So I'm gonna keep bringing it. The necessity level is very high. So we know that people have to go out there, children have to go out there, adults have to go out there, constantly be bombarded with the incorrect imagery of all of these things. They're bombarded with the incorrect information when it comes to these things, and they're programmed to, I guess, gravitate to the I don't know, it's so topsy-turvy. It's messed up out here, but I have to be part of a force that can combat the rampant misinformation out there. Now, when it comes to being programmed and gravitating towards misinformation and how that messes up your mentality and everything, I really want to give a preview of part 2 of the biology skin color series right here, where I will go more in depth on the topic and bring some other things, a different dynamic to this topic, and why it's important to have that melanin right there. So the point of using her is just a teaching moment. It's not meant to go on her page and criticize her or be negative towards her, because I guess how she currently is right now, I guess she's happy with that, but it's more of a cautionary tale, and just making sense of it. Like, just be happy with who you are, have self-respect when it comes to your own melanin right there. Don't try to be something else, because there's dangers involved when you try to strip away the melanin. So without further ado, check this video out right here.
Hey guys, so today we are talking skincare, which I'm so excited. I do want to start this by saying this is a skin lightening page. If you're not into that, then you're probably not going to want to watch this video. So just an FYI, because I think, like, I try to always say that at the beginning of my videos, because I get people who get really upset when they start watching my videos. But anyways, for those of you that are just tuning in, like, for the first time and never seen like my skin tone previous to this skin tone, here's a picture of what my skin used to look like, and this is what my skin looks like now. As a lot of you know, this has taken a lot of work.
Now that is the end of this video here. Future videos will come later, of course. You guys take care.